petal vertical flower. That's what you did. You went from the top to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. And then this is what that would look like with two hands. And then this is what it would look like in a turnaround. Very effective move for sure. Down bottom, and then swing around the back up top. And then swing around to the bottom on the front, swing around the back to the top, swing to the bottom, to the front, and top and bottom, go back, top, go front, bottom, go back, top, go front, bottom, go back, top, go front. So start with your right arm up and your left arm down in overhand. And then this is a split time move. And actually, let's start with your left arm up and your right arm down, because I want you to be able to look at me. And when you look to the right, if your right arm is up, you shouldn't be able to see me because your bicep should be blocking you, right? So if your left arm is up, you'll be able to see me because of the direction you're facing. So this is the first position here where the left one is up top and the right one is down bottom, and we're trying to do these in split time circles. And if your timing isn't clean, it's less important to worry about that right now than just getting the placement in the right positions. And then you swing your arms and you switch the position so the right one is up and the left one is down. Okay, and when you swing, remember to do this long extension like you're in the giant. And then swing again so the left one's up and the right one's down. And now swing and do the petal. And then clean it up and then swing and then do the petal. And then clean it up and then swing and do the petal. And clean it up and swing and do the petal. And swing and do the petal. And swing and do the petal. Okay, now, because I know you know this, try this one with me, where you do the giant here like this. And then put the right one on top and then go back to the giant. So right one on top, left one on bottom, do the two petal, just one count and then go back to the giant. Just one count and go back to the giant. Just one count, go back to the giant. Just one count, giant. In the beginning, the poi planes are not straight. In the beginning, they suck. We ignore the poi planes not being straight until we have our placement accurate, and then we clean up the planes. Now, part of the challenge is, it is much harder, I think, to hold this here for 10 counts, for example, and keep it straight. Like over time, it sometimes wanes, or up here, right? It's hard to get this to stay in the same position correctly for 10 counts. Whereas one count, it's much easier. You just go down and up and you have momentum to help you. So when you're holding the positions, doing the placement drills, in some ways it's harder than when you actually are in the flower. We did these two positions where the right was up and then also where the left was up. And then we were focusing on getting a good, clean, big extension in the middle between the two positions. Then I had you do this giant, where I wanted you to do the right on top, left on bottom, then the back into the giant. Right on top, left on bottom, back into the giant. Right on top, left on bottom, back into the giant. Just the giant, this guy. And then when your right's on top, left's on bottom, stop, do one petal, and then go back to the giant. Stop, do one petal, go back to the giant. Right's on top, left's on bottom, one petal, back to the giant. And keep your toes up so that your weight is on your heels, and you can add that in. We've done the first half of it, where we did the right up, the left down. Let's do the second half of it, where we're in the giant, and we do left up, right down, back to giant. 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 Do giants until it's comfortable. Hold the giant, hold the giant, hold the giant. You're trying to rush back to the two petal flower. One of the reasons I'm having you use the giant is to try and get to a movement that you're more comfortable with. Notice where your placement is. Right now when you're doing it, as you're doing it, your left poi is here and your right poi is here, as opposed to here and here. So you want to have your placement be at the top and the bottom. And notice at the top and the bottom, not going forward like that. I want you to do 3, 2, 1, then flower, and 3, 2, 1, and 2 petal. 3, 2, 1, 2 petal. Now you can try putting the two things together. The first thing we did was we went from the giant to this one, and then we went from the giant to its opposite where the left was on top and the right was on bottom. Now let's try going right on top and then swing to the left on top and then back to giant. And 3 flowers, and right on top, left on top, back to giant. 3 and 2 and 1 and right up, swing, left up, back to giant. 3, 2, 1, right up, then left up, then back to giant. You're connecting the two together with using the 2-petal flower in the middle. So you're right up to left up, and then back to giant. Right up to left up, back to giant. So 3, 2, 1, now right up, then left up, then back to giant. 3, 2, 1, right up, swing to the other one where the left's on top, and then back to giant. 3, 2, 1, right up, then left up, then back to giant. Swing from this to this, where the left is on top, and now go into giant. 3, 2, 1. Now stop where the right one's on top and the left one's on bottom, and now swing to the other one where the left's on top, right's on bottom, and now we're back to giant. 3, 2, 1. Now right on top, left on bottom, swing, left on top, right on bottom, then giant. 3, 2, 1. Now right on top, left on bottom, swing, left on top, right on bottom, giant. 3, 2, 1. This is not a move, this is a combo. Overhand, 2-petal inspin connected to the overhand giant. And the pattern is 3 giants followed by a 2-petal flower, which we enter with the right hand on top. In the particular combination we did, we entered it with the right hand on top and the left on bottom, and then we exited with the left on top and the right on bottom. Now you could do it the other way. This would be the 3 giants, 2 and 3, and then you go into it where the left's on top, and then you come out of it when the right's on top, and you go back into the giant. 3, 2, 1, and now back to left on top, and then right on top, and then giant. 2 and 3, and left on top, right on top, giant. 2, 3. The one we did was right on top to left on top, back to giant. I mean, ultimately, you want to have enough flexibility to go into it from either position, but you also want to have enough skill to move through this flower continuously. You'll want to work the transition from the giant into the 2-petal, but you also want to work the 2-petal to the 2-petal, the right on top to the left on top to the right on top, and being able to do that continuously. It's common when people start flowers that they accidentally do this, where they forget to open the palm out to the side. Remember to open your palm out to the side. So a one-handed pattern, it would be what we did with the giant, where you just go in for a petal and then exit, in for a petal and exit. But the flower itself continuously is where you alternate between the hand that's on top and the hand that's on bottom, and they keep switching. And you're basically doing this giant in between the petals at the top and the bottom, which is why this is not the same, right? This is my hand sliding up and down in a linear extension versus using a long arm extension to get from one to the other, where I keep my arm fully extended and I swing big between the top and bottom petals. I think the linear extension is easier to go to from the long arm extension because I think it takes less physicality. I think overall maintaining 25 repetitions of the long arm extension, I think, is more energy draining for most people in my experience than the linear extension. Also, there's more opportunity for injury, I think, in the long arm extension because of this thing we were talking about back here. With the linear extension, since your hand is going up and down, you completely avoid this position back here.